Believe in me, as I believed in you. I've been like a father to you. Be a son to me now.
I have a father. His name was... I missed the part where that's my problem.
Oh.
So, it's Wednesday, and I got up this morning, and I got spoiled for chapter 218. And I know, I haven't uploaded in like 6 months or something like that, and it's literally because I'm a chronic procrastinator, and to top it all off, I've been trying to make these reaction, fun, edit anime-like videos for a long-ass time, and it's just taking forever, so I'm probably just going to take a different method, try to take a different route in how I go about making videos for Rent-A-Girlfriend. But hi, if you don't know who I am, I'm Fate, and I make Rent-A-Girlfriend content, or did 6 months ago, but I don't right now because I'm bad at this, even though I'm actually a good editor. I like to think I'm a good editor, but whatever. So, spoiler warning, I'm going to be talking about the spoilers that came out today because I need something to vent about because this is fucking bothering me. Okay, if you are here for the spoilers and you're willing to sit through this with me, I get it that people are upset, and yeah, the series has flaws, don't get me wrong. I think sometimes I think one of the biggest flaws of Rent-A-Girlfriend as a series is this disparity between what Reishis does as a writer and what he conveys to the audience as a writer, and I think it's literally this whole issue where what he conveys isn't necessarily what we understand. As at the surface level, it just seems like he's messing with us as the audience and shit, and sometimes he is the whole thing before Mommy's backstory with the whole metaphor with the baby, that was kind of weird. Let's just all admit it right now, that was kind of weird. I'm like, bro, what kind of metaphor is that? And then it just ends up being like a full-on metaphor, it's not anything else. And of course the series has a lot of moments where when you look at it initially, it's just initial shock value, you freak out, you panic. But I think there are inherent issues with this series where it's specifically how the fans look at it, because I feel like there's actually a great deal of depth to this story, and the series can vary from like really, really good to sometimes not that good. And I think this arc is kind of a weird point for pretty much all the fans, as a lot of people just generally agree they don't like this arc. And I personally believe, as someone who has read the entirety of One Piece, I genuinely believe this is one of those arcs where when you go back and look at it once it's actually done, it's actually going to be a lot better than you think. But at the same time, when you're sitting through this weekly, when you're letting it marinate, when all the stuff that's just frustrating the shit out of you is right in your face, you get annoyed. You get tired, you don't want to deal with it, and you feel like the author is messing with you. And to be fair, this arc took a great shift. This arc took a massive shift in pacing, specifically in that it turned to a very slow-paced arc. Now, me, as a movie critic, whatever the fuck you want to call me, I think the way it's being written is good. However, the way it's being conveyed is bad. And this is, I feel, where the issue of the author stems from. I feel like there's a few issues with Rent-A-Girlfriend in the series where it does these things where, like, it has this whole mystery aspect where Reishis uses a lot of mystery novel or mystery story type techniques where he'll hide things like what the characters think or what the characters feel, but then convey it to you through their actions or some of the words they say, rather than fully showing you exactly what they think. And I think that creates issues like there's still people who have binged this manga who don't know how Chizuru feels. And yeah, it's shocking, I know. And then you have issues like with this current chapter spoilers. Now, okay, I'm gonna just say this. I think it's fucking stupid that the entire chapter was leaked online in clean fucking scans. I got destroyed by one of my friends who didn't even realize what they did to me. So let me tell you how I got spoiled. So, okay, I was thinking of making, you know, the fun edits for you guys, and I get on Discord, and my friend sends me this meme. Since we're talking full-on spoilers, it's the meme where Kazuya is floating in the water, and he has a boner. And guess what fucking happens? I'm just like, wait, I have read the entirety of this manga twice now. I've never seen that panel. I have read this arc a few times now. I have not seen this panel. What the fuck? And then I do the stupidest thing you could possibly do. I knew it was a spoiler. I had a gut feeling it was a spoiler.
Stop it. Get some help.
But I reversed imaged that shit. And guess what happened? The entire chapter gets spoiled for me. Of course, I mostly got spoiled on the main thing, which is the NTR Flash, the NTR delusion thing. And man, I think the issue with it inherently for me as someone who's just looking at it from an outside perspective and not rating it, I think the inherent issue with it is simply that it's too long. It's too vivid, it's too long, too much is getting shown, and I get what Reishi's trying to convey, but it's a tad too much. And this is where I'll completely agree with people getting a little bit upset. I don't think this whole thing where people are trying to see Chizuru as some sort of Madonna, or like this perfect girl, like that's stupid. Like, remember, Kazuya is a 21-year-old dude, and he has lost relationships on a regular. He's never had proper relationship before, and to top it all off, this one girl who he thought like he really had something with, someone he really thought he connected with, just indirectly broke his heart, and she didn't even realize. And that is kind of what Kazuya is going through right now. He is emotionally broken. And essentially what you're seeing here is Kazuya at the very end of his rope. Kazuya from the very beginning of the series. That's the point of chapter 213 in my opinion. I believe what chapter 213 was trying to convey to us as the audience is this, that we saw Kazuya broken at the very beginning of the series. We saw Kazuya broken and like falling apart and depressed. That was the point. It was what it was trying to show us to us as the audience. He looked like a loser, someone who couldn't do anything. But in reality, he was just this really depressed person who's actually a good guy deep down, but because he's so depressed, you're seeing him spiral, and that's being shown to you in an unadulterated form. Maybe it's a tad exaggerated, but you're seeing this dude who's just spiraling, and that's really true. As someone who has been through depression, you do really stupid things, and you don't really have control, but you see how Kazuya progresses and changes as a person. But now when he's put in a very similar scenario, how has he changed as a character? And to many, when you look at this, granted, I didn't see all the spoilers, so I don't know everything. When you look at this, your initial feeling is like, oh, this is Kazuya, like, really just falling backwards and doing all this. But essentially what's happening is him getting put to the test. Him having to deal with these deep emotions that he feels, him keeping the promise to Sayuri after she passed away of all people, that he is going to support Chizuru even if their relationship falls apart. And I think that's literally what Kazuya is trying to cope with, topped with the fact that he thinks there might still be something between Chizuru and Umi, because the whole thing with Umi kind of indicated something to Kazuya, that maybe he meant Chizuru, maybe something along those lines. There were things that were not clearly conveyed to us as the audience, and I think that's an aspect of this series, where some things are not clearly conveyed to us as the audience, as the series loves to play on this idea of perspective, that each character has their own perspective, and their perspective influences how they view the series. The series is dictated by the characters and what they do, and to some readers, that can be confusing, annoying, or frustrating at times, especially considering some of the choices Chizuru is making in this arc, as they feel very confusing and vexing to a lot of people. Personally, when I'm reading through the arc, they make a lot of sense to me, as I'm essentially piecing what she's thinking throughout the series. Even chapter like 196, what Chizuru's thinking is very clear, and if you pay attention to her mindset up until that point, it makes a lot of sense. And I think essentially, as Kazuya pointed out, near the very beginning of the movie arc, where they finally get the money for the movie, he's going to find out about the Umi thing, and he's going to get over it. And I think Kazuya essentially is coming to a choice to where he has to let Chizuru go. He has to let Chizuru go, and in his mind, by letting Chizuru go, even though he's in pain, even though he's hurt, even though he's spiraling a little bit, he's trying to make the best choice that he can. And I think that's what's being conveyed to the audience, is like that shock value, that thing that annoys the shit out of you. That's essentially what Kazuya is feeling. And I think that's what Reiji is trying to convey, is that this is what Kazuya is feeling. Sure, it feels like the author Reiji is just fucking with us right now. Poor choice of words. Poor choice of words. But at the same time, I feel like this is on purpose. This is meant to be showing Kazuya's emotional turmoil that he's going through. I literally remember seeing a panel where he's just floating and laughing and crying. And it's like, when someone is laughing, crying like that, it's literally just a person who has no control of their emotions. They don't know how to feel. And that's what's happening with Kazuya. He's so emotionally broken and lost. He doesn't know how to feel, but he's trying to keep himself together. And that is trying to show the emotional progression of Kazuya's character, as before, he didn't even try to. He just let his emotions burst out and he fell apart. And we see the scene with Chizuru and him in the aquarium. You guys remember that? But in this, we'll most likely see something kind of different. We'll see Kazuya trying to keep it together and trying to let Chizuru go, which is crazy feat for Kazuya's character, as that's very hard for him to do, especially considering how much he likes her. And yeah, I get it. Like, the whole shock value thing, it's upsetting, it's weird. I kind of get where some people are coming from. I felt kind of like a little gross seeing it too, but at the same time, it's also good to not lose our absolute shit, as I see a lot of people just attacking Reiji on Twitter. And I know it's Twitter. I know Twitter is full of stupid fucking people. Maybe like 2 people that are kind of nice because I talked to some people there, but it's full of stupid fucking people. But still, I want people to be nicer. Jesus fucking Christ, it's so hard to be nicer. If you don't like this series, convey it in an orderly fashion. Be like, hey Reiji, I'm not a huge fan of the choices that you're making. Maybe you can try doing something different, but don't do it before the chapter comes out. A week before the chapter comes out. Like, god damn, there's people throwing like the full fucking spoiler shit on there. Like, Japan's gonna be pissed. Japan's gonna be pissed. They're gonna like try to kick our fucking asses, dude. Like, ay. And it's like, I feel like the Japanese fans have it like fucking ruined for them now, because the spoilers are literally everywhere. It's just, you try to look up Rent a Girlfriend, it's probably fucking everywhere. I'm kind of happy, like the moment I realized I was reading a spoiler, I'm like, I'm backing out. And yeah, so I guess that's kind of roughly all I wanted to say. I was thinking of making a video kind of really discussing this stuff a little bit more in depth, really focusing on like some of the inherent flaws with the series. And I actually really just didn't want to make this video as a whole. Like, I did a different recording, which was a lot more serious and shit. And I wasn't a huge fan of that. And so I just kind of said, you know what, fuck it, I don't want this. So yeah, I think that what's going on within the chapter is a little bit weird, but first, I think people should calm down, kind of tone down their emotions, look at something a little different, and then come back and look at it again. Also, wait until the chapters actually come out before you make a decision of how you feel, considering this is not translated, and we don't know exactly what's happening. We know Kazuya is falling apart, and he's imagining this, and this is part of spiraling. This is a habit for Kazuya's character. He's done this throughout the fucking series. This is a habit of Kazuya's character, and it's clearly a habit he does not like. It's clear that it's bothering him. That's why you see a picture of Kazuya falling apart in the pool. That's why you see his friends looking at him from afar and just seeing him falling apart. That's what I'm trying to convey here, is like, I feel like a lot of people are really misconstruing what's happening here, is that, yes, Reiji is doing something here that is like, you feel kind of gross looking at it. But that's also part of the point. That it's supposed to be gross, it's supposed to bother you, it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, because this is Kazuya at his worst. He's spiraling and he feels like fucking shit. So he's just delving back into these bad habits that he does not like. Everybody does this when they're fucking depressed. They fall into these bad habits they don't like, and they try to slowly stop them. And this is Kazuya actually falling straight up back into depression since the beginning of the series. This has not happened since the beginning of the series. And I'm going to try my best to make like a proper review for this, and like when the chapter comes out and discuss it properly. But I know a lot of people are upset. I know this is spiraling out of control on Twitter, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it because it was bothering me this morning and I couldn't focus on my work. So if you guys still want me to make my reaction video that I'm working on, please let me know, because it's very highly edited and I kind of want to put it out. And I don't know, I just felt like I should make this first and then put that out. This arc is weird for a lot of people, and I know it's weird for a lot of people, and I feel like this just kind of happens, that sometimes these things just happen. And if it's as long as I think it is, that is kind of weird. I've heard that the whole scene is like 8 pages long, which I'm kind of questioning the validity of that, because I'm like, he really committed a full 8 pages to that? That sounds a little weird. So I don't know if there's a full 8 pages dedicated to just that, considering the entire chapter is 26 pages, which is much longer than usual. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, I haven't seen the entire spoilers. I've only seen that part of the spoilers. And yeah, that's kind of roughly all I've had to say on this matter. If I missed anything else, let me know. I'll probably discuss it in the main chapter thing. And there's, of course, a lot I want to talk about regarding this series, as it has flaws. No, really, it has flaws. And I do think maybe this particular flaw isn't that great. I actually think maybe if it's being portrayed as it was shown to me on Twitter, then it's not that great. I think this chapter might actually be kind of bad. But at the same time, it is conveying something that Kazuya is spiraling a little bit, and you're seeing him kind of at his worst again, and how he copes and deals with that. But I'm speaking out of my ass, all things considered, because I don't know exactly what's happening, and it just really fucking bothers me because I don't want to keep reading the fucking spoilers. I really don't want to keep reading the fucking spoilers, and that's just going to keep bothering me more and more, so I need to stop. I'm just going to stop here and stop talking about this, because God, I need to know exactly what's going on. You see my dilemma? You see my infinite dilemma? This is why I don't read spoilers, people, because I get stuck in this stupid limbo of wanting to know exactly what's going on, but I can't, and I don't want to, and I hate every second of it. So, I've been Fate. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to do more discussions rather than like those reaction videos, please let me know. There's a lot I want to talk about regarding this series, and you know, don't necessarily share this particular video because I'm talking about spoilers here, so I don't think it's fair that you really share this video, but do like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to keep up with the uploads. I'll appreciate that. Please and thanks. And if you do really want me to have a proper discussion where I kind of break down the inherent issues of Rent-A-Girlfriend as a series, yet at the same time what it does right, I'll definitely write a script for that. I really want to kind of shift into a more script focused channel, I think. Really just kind of try to talk about these things a little more concretely rather than try to show it to you guys, because I feel like a lot of people don't quite understand what I'm trying to convey when I make these reaction things, so I'll maybe make those shorter and simpler and easier to understand. And yeah, that's roughly all I've had to say. I've been Fate. I'm back. Thank you guys for waiting so long. I'm sorry for making it wait so long. And yeah, I'll see what I can do moving forward. So yeah, without further ado, I've been Faith. Thank you guys for watching. And remember, let's mosey. Hopefully, when the chapter comes out.
奴らに勝ったぞ。これで私は自由になれる。